Mr. President, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon.
What was your vision when this conference was being conceptualized?
Wel, we zitten al langer als 30 jaar met dit vraagstuk. En we zien dat landen die een enorme offer opbrengen, in feite weinig ruimte hebben tot financiële toegang.
It's longer than 30 years that we are facing this issue, and what we have noted is that countries that face the issue of high forestry have difficulties getting to financial opportunities. So that is basically the main reason that we are on this stage.
Wij hebben bijvoorbeeld een landbedekking van 94,6% aan tropische regenwoud. Maar we hebben onszelf gecommitteerd aan de wereld dat we niet onder de 93% zullen gaan met het harvesten.
We have a forest cover of approximately 94.6%. However, our commitment to the world is that we will maintain a forest cover of 93%. That is a commitment we made.
Maar dat staat enorm tegenover dat doordat je de financiële middelen nodig hebt en de resources hebt, je het offer hebt gedaan aan de wereld, je in een spanningsveld komt. Dus ik denk dat we de wereld moeten overtuigen dat er een financieel mechanisme ontwikkeld moet worden om de landen die zich houden aan de gemaakte afspraken, om hun met training, met onderhoud van het bos enzovoorts en ook in financiële zin kunnen bijstaan.
What we know is that there is a contention between the interest and the will to maintain the forest cover at the one hand, at the other hand the development challenges that you face with scarce financial resources, and thirdly the difficulty to access financial opportunities. So what has to happen is that the world community has to understand this commitment and seek a mechanism for easier accessibility of financial mechanisms, so that we can therefore get training, we can get capacity building, largely said, we can get access to finances in order to maintain this commitment that we as a country in this state have made. So it's crucial to get that access.
There have been declarations made before. Is there reason to be optimistic now that we have Kruto in place?
Er zijn inderdaad declaraties gemaakt, maar ik denk dat er meer wetenschappelijk werk gedaan moet worden om met vrij grote mate van nauwkeurigheid te kunnen meten wat eerlijk is ten opzichte van het offer.
Yes, there have been declarations, but what I think is necessary coming out of this process, there is a need for precise scientific research which will allow us a truthful picture of what we can be given for the offer we make, so that there is a very precise calculation, so to speak, so that we don't estimate but rather know what the value is of the offer we have made.
And what does this declaration mean in terms of financial resources, one, and also benefits to the people of the countries?
Op de eerste plaats is deze declaratie is een specifieke in de zin van laten we de landen uitzoeken die met een soortgelijk probleem zitten en de koppen bij elkaar steken en kijken hoe wij de wereldgemeenschap gezamenlijk onze stem kunnen laten horen met betrekking tot dit specifieke geval.
Firstly, the declaration is one of significance and as such that we have gathered like-minded countries to basically face the common challenges together and therefore approach the world community with one voice in order to get over the hurdle that we commonly face. And so you should see the declaration in that sense that we have brought the many heads of countries with similarities together to get mileage out of what we offer.
You have been charged with championing this cause on behalf of the NFLD nations. If you could speak directly to the international community, what message would you want to send to them right now?
De boodschap die ik wil brengen is dat het milieu is in groot gevaar. Men weet het, als wij niet daadwerkelijk samen kijken naar dit vraagstuk, zal dit een van de grootste dreigingen zijn, omdat we dan onze planeet eigenlijk niet leefbaar achter gaan laten voor de kinderen en de kindskinderen.
What I want to communicate to the world community is that we should first and foremost note that our planet is in danger and that it calls for common action. If we lack on doing or coming together to address this danger, we may face a very tragic situation which will then leave our planet worse than we have met it for our children and their children.
This is my final question.
Yes.
Now that the declaration is in place, what is the next step? What happens next?
De volgende stap is dat wij, gezien de serieusheid van deze materie, deze landen Suriname gaan bestempelen als de trekker. En samen met deze landen gaan wij daadwerkelijk de zaken niet meer loslaten en overal onze stem laten horen in dit heel specifieke geval. Misschien kun je het gedetailleerd antwoorden.
Firstly, what we have to do or note is that the group of countries have identified Suriname as the leader to communicate what we have agreed upon in this conference, and as such we have to use each international opportunity to let the world know what we have agreed upon and what we are expecting from them.
Kijk, je moet vanuit een gemeenschappelijk belang, in dit geval de HFLD countries, die kun je niet gewoon overlaten aan de grote landen die ogenschijnlijk ook dezelfde taal praten, maar eigenlijk andere criteria hebben.
We have to, from a common position, reason. We have to reason from a common position, and therefore we should approach our position not from a point of view that the other developed countries should take the lead. No, we should look at it from our point of view.
Als we het in economische zin bekijken, politieke en economische zin, we zijn allemaal kleine landen in het Caribisch gebied, Midden-Amerika. Maar doordat we gebundeld zijn als CARICOM, doordat we afspraken hebben als CARICOM, houdt de wereld, of het nou de grote Verenigde Staten is, of het is China, of het is Canada, of het is Europa, allemaal willen die understanding hebben met CARICOM.
So you should see it as this, politically and economically, being in the Caribbean and in South America, we should approach it from a common and joint position. And let me give an example. When we're looking at the challenges we face as CARICOM, when we are dealing with larger countries, it gives us fortified strength to approach it as a grouping. So in this instance, as a grouping of HFLD countries, that should be the strategy, that we are approaching our commonalities together.
That was my final question, unless you have something else you would like to add.
No, only what I want to clarify, we're talking about a CARICOM, is that if you look at CARICOM, even if it's the United States, they have their intention to work together with CARICOM. You talk with countries like China, Canada, India, but even Europe. Why? Because we are jointly together, because we have a common strategy. So, like when you're alone, it's very difficult that they can listen to you.
Yeah.
But when you have your structure and they will take you more seriously, and that's why I took the example of CARICOM. There are different small nations, but every big country, if it's Russia, if it's India, God knows, everybody wants to talk with those 15 countries. 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. President, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Richard.
Thank you.
One more message.
Sure. Okay, sure.
Ja, we hebben in ons portfolio het jongerenfenomeen. En we zijn heel erg trots. We hebben de presentatie gezien welke de jongeren vandaag weer geleverd hebben. En het is heel erg goed om de jongeren in een vroeg stadium te betrekken bij dit werk. Zodat zij fouten kunnen maken, maar zodat zij de fouten die wij gemaakt hebben niet hoeven te maken. Omdat voordat je denkt de tijd om is en zij de nieuwe leiders zijn.
We have CARICOM, in our portfolio in CARICOM, the youth phenomena. And that means that we should be proud. What we have seen here today is that young people have stepped to the plate and they have presented their voice. However, I'm also of the belief that we should make the space and give them the opportunity to assume leadership for that they can learn and make errors, but at the same time don't make the same mistakes that we as leaders have made. Otherwise, because before you note or think, it's their turn to be leaders. So it's important to allow them that piece of experience so that they can be part of the process.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Waar zijn de mannen van NI en iemand Gwami Oso? Ik heb nog